Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. We won the last episode, and we weren't even stressing the fact that we were a little bit late for Life is Strange 2. An Eden run? Are you crazy? Yo, but with blue candle. Hold on. Put me in an ergonomic setup. Where are we at here ergonomic-wise? We should be a little higher. Look. Don't shoot the messenger, okay? I'm trying to make sure my wrists don't explode. Yeah. I pushed my desk up a little further. You got something to say? Just say it, dude. Just come right out and freaking say it. So we have dead onion. Blue candle. Stats are pretty poor. Mostly because of HP, speed, and tears. But blue candle, and to be honest, dead onion, make up for that. Is definitely, I would describe it as a good start. There is some misfortune. I cannot get to that curse room without entering through the normal routine way, which I don't want to do because our HP is low. But apart from that, we got a very, very good thing going here. No complaints. Excuse me, you dropped a rune for me? You could have used Hagalaz a second ago to blow up the freaking tinted rock, dude. Anyway, I'm excited. Not because it's my last video of the day, but that is how I was going to transition there. I'm excited. It's the last video of the day. I don't know why you would use it there, to be honest with you. Now you're taunting yourself. I thought for some reason we would be able to use a bomb to get in there. Wait a minute, is this a pot play situation? Hold on. Can we get in there? No. Unless you squeeze real hard. Not gonna work. But no, it is, it's the last video of the day. Even if you love your job, and I do. Always nice to reach the end of the working day as well. Well, unless, you know, I suppose, if you've got workaholism, you know, then you don't want to go home because you're like, once I get home, I'm not the arbiter of my own destiny anymore. Only here in the office do I have any power. But for everybody else, it's nice, right? Plus 90 Day Fiancé's on tonight. It's a new episode, dude. Although I've missed like 2 weeks worth of episodes. I gotta tell you, I know you probably don't want me to talk about 90 Day Fiancé anymore. That's fine. What I am gonna say though is TLC is legitimately the most hit or miss channel on television, as far as I'm concerned. 90 Day Fiancé is great. Every other show is absolutely horrible. Hold on, I got a plan here. You might say that means every show's horrible because 90 Day sucks. 90 Day doesn't suck, Boomer. It's the greatest show in history. Well, it's the greatest documentary in history. But every other show on the network is just a disaster. You know, I've watched a couple of episodes of My 600-Pound Life. For the most part, like, it doesn't even... I'm trying to think of how to approach this, okay? I don't want to say it makes me sad, because it's like you're looking down on the people that are in the show. But it, you know, 90 Day is kind of like, it's a dumpster fire, you know? Like, people have issues, but their issues are like largely related to their own narcissism and deep-seated desire to be loved, while simultaneously also... Because here's the thing, when they phrase it that way, it sounds really bad, right? Like, oh, NL, you're making fun of these people like a real jerk. But, like, it's like, yeah, they have a deep-seated desire to be loved, but they probably could find, like, a genuine relationship with somebody their own age, somebody, you know, that has shared interests, but instead they find, like, an aspiring model 20 years younger than them from a different country that doesn't speak their language, and they're like, screw you, we're in love. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe you are. I don't think she is. But, My 600-Pound Life is not a humorous sort of, you know, I don't want to call it a train wreck, but you know what I mean. It's not a humorous form of reality television. Instead, it's like, you know, I have deep-seated issues with food, and, you know, there's not that much unintentional humor that happens over the course of an episode, which is the main reason I watch those shows. That show just makes me feel bad, which maybe is what it's designed to do in the first place, but... And then there's a bunch of shows that are just... I just don't even, like, get why they exist. Like, there's a show called, I think it's 4 Weddings. 4 brides get married, and they rate each other's weddings. They always, and the winner gets a trip to Hawaii or something like that. In the very few times I've watched the show, mostly, like, when my parents were here, it was on for, like, a couple of hours. I don't believe I ever saw anybody give a score except for a 6 or a 7. It was literally like, even if they loved the wedding, they're like, I gotta give Jen's wedding a 6. I liked the scalloped potatoes. I didn't like that they brought out the mascot from the Vegas Golden Knights. It was, it's a very strange reality TV show to me. Apart from that, I have, like, I mean, basically, here's the thing. TLC only airs 1 television program per day, at least in Canada, but they air it 100 times. You know, so, like, if it's 90 Day Fiancé Day, they air, like, 2-hour-long episodes of 90 Day Fiancé. That's right, it's 2 hours long, like a real movie, because it's cinema verite with mise en scène. Hold on. Just wanted to check. So they'll air, like, 8 hours of recent episodes. You might not believe this, but they also have a show called 90 Day Fiancé Pillow Talk, where previous cast members of 90 Day Fiancé watch the most recent episode and comment over top of it like a react video. It's true, it's real, it's pretty bad, but it does function as a condensed version of 90 Day Fiancé if that's what you're interested in. But what that means is Sundays on TLC are beautiful days. Anytime you turn on the TV, it's 90 Day Fiancé. Every other day, they have shows like Welcome to Plathville. Me and my wife have 135 kids, because, you know, why not? The world's got infinite resources. And boy, my old-fashioned ideals combined with their teenage rebellion makes for some entertaining television. Excuse me, Sam. No, it doesn't. I mean, here's the thing. Get the bag. I'm not really looking out for the TLC corporation. I'm just saying, don't find you or your family compelling to me on a television level. You might be fine people. I wouldn't know. So that it's the most hit or miss television on channel. Channel on television. Sorry, it's been a long day. Not really. I mean, yes, it has been a long day, but it's been a good day. I've got no complaints. This could be a big moment. Let me in. Open this up. I'm here to confirm it was not a big moment. Can I tell you a story, by the way? I don't want to throw my good friend Dan Giesling under the bus. But I want to give you a little slice of what it's like to work with Dan sometimes, because I think people will find it entertaining. Now, let me start this by saying I like working with Dan because Dan gives his all in every recording. Like, there's never, I think, been a time, and I do this for the record. I'm not saying, you know, oh, everybody but me and Dan doesn't aspire to be entertaining. I think everyone aspires to be entertaining, but sometimes things get in the way, except for Dan. There's never been a situation where I've done a video with Dan, and the little voice in my head has been like, oh, Dan hasn't said something in a while. Is he okay? He's always, if he's not okay, he saves it till after. It's a good trait to have in a showman. Yes? We'll try it? Okay, not good, but maybe we can get those options before we leave the floor. He brings his all. Even, you know, some people love Dan's brand of entertainment, an increasingly large number of people, which I think is really cool. Some people, it's not, they really dislike it. And I can understand why, even if I disagree. But there's certain idiosyncrasies as well. So we were playing a multiplayer, well, a co-op puzzle game called We Were Here Together. First 2 episodes, we did pretty well. We solved some puzzles together. Third episode, absolute disaster. An hour-long video, didn't solve the puzzle. I was motion sick by the end of it and a little bit grumpy. I'm not ashamed to admit it. So, after we finish recording, couple, like maybe a day goes by, Dan goes, hey, do you want to publish those, or do you think we should just yeet them? I was going to say throw them in the garbage can. Then I was like, you know what Dan said. He said yeet. And I said, I don't think the third video is very entertaining, but I think if you're good for it, let's publish the first 2, because I think those are fun and entertaining regardless. And, we put the work in, so we might as well. He did not reply for 2 days. So then I sent him a message and I said, hey, what do you think about this? And he says, oh, sorry, I already published them. I went by what you said. Okay, fair enough. I then set up my videos to publish. Doesn't really bother me, to be honest. I set my videos to publish. And then today he goes, oh, by the way, I accidentally published the third video. I forgot to yeet it. I was just like, Dan. Again, I'm not actually, I'm literally 0% upset. And if you're going, you sound upset, that's not true. That's just something you learned from media. Where you're like, anytime someone says they're not upset, you immediately have to reply with, well, you sound upset. It's not true. Learn to speak on your own, sheeple. Or from my YouTube videos. I'll accept either. It's just humorous that he didn't... he didn't tell me, yeah, let's publish. And B, he accidentally published one too many. Or I don't know, maybe you could also be like, Daniel's one of those guys where whenever he makes a mistake, everybody calls it 4D chess. Even so, and I know this because Champions of Salt happened recently. And we had some if you're not watching Champions of Salt, this part's going to seem a little nonsensical to you. But we had machinations behind the scenes. I was like, I got to do what I can to save Dan, because Austin and Bear are going to be like a tandem that's going to carry each other right to the end. So I got to do something. It almost worked, but did not quite work. But anyway, even as Dan was like clearly going to get eliminated, people were like, Dan's doing 4D chess. He's put himself up on the block, so when he gets saved, he doesn't have to be the person that voted somebody out, and thus, get the ill will of a jury member. I was like, nope. But it must be nice, I have the exact opposite. Even when I'm right about things, people assume I'm wrong all the time. Like, especially in Twitch chat. Even if you say, and this is not like, I'm not complaining about Twitch chat so much, but even if you say something that's right but sounds wrong. Like today, I was like, we were playing Life is Strange 2, and I was like, well, they're brothers, so technically they share 50% of their DNA on a theoretical level, at least. Everybody was like, NL, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? That doesn't make any sense at all. Yo, go look at a freaking Punnett square. Go back to AP Biology. You're going to start telling me that that's incorrect. Hold on. We have not been to our item room yet. Anyway. Suffice it to say... Well, that was very lucky. I have the exact opposite problem. When I say things that make sense, people assume I'm an idiot, or assume because I'm an idiot, the thing I'm saying that makes sense is actually wrong. Some other people have the benefit of the doubt in the exact opposite direction. Even if they make an incredible mistake, people are like, it's not a mistake. He's making a mistake on purpose. So that in the future, his true genius plan will be revealed. Even now, there's probably some people that are like, Dan finessed all of Champions Assault into getting eliminated in Champions Assault 1. Is more of like a trial run than in Champions Assault 2 when there's real money on the line. No, grab it! That's when no one's gonna have any ill will and he's gonna come out on top. Hopefully this doesn't end up being prophetic. Or I don't know, maybe if it did, that would be cool. It would be funny. Can't really complain. Let me out. I mean, this is a great run. And Daniel and I will record something else this week. I forget what we're playing. What are we? I think we're playing some Tetris 99 squads. I don't really. I know you're like, just when you thought you were out, they pulled you back in. It's not really like that. Like, I don't want to play a ton of Tetris, but I think there is. Yo, that's so good. I think there is a compelling case to be made for, can we carry Dan to more victories in Tetris 99 now that there's squad mode? And I think the answer to the question is probably. Yeah, I think so. We can also do password protected lobbies, but, you know, don't worry about that so much right now. I don't know what else is coming as far as videos go. I do know this is the last week of Champions Assault. If you're not watching Champions Assault, first off, I really think you're missing out. You know, all the feedback about the event has been taken, for sure. And when we do it again, we'll do it a little differently. And we'll, you know, I think we have very valuable feedback. But we've, you know, really made it work, to be honest. And we got a compelling final 3 right now. I'm still in the game as a result of, against all odds, winning the Head of Household Cardpocalypse game, which is just stunning. Because for me to win at a collectible / trading card game style game is not a usual experience, and I felt very fortunate to I mean, I practiced, to be clear, but I was like, I wouldn't give myself great odds. So it's me, Austin, and Bear Taffy. And, you know, if you start running the game theory, your head will explode. I think Bear Taffy, if he makes it to the final 2, easily wins. He's a very likable guy, and he is the only person he has had to directly vote out has been Dan. And I think Dan is the kind of guy who respects the person who gets him, you know? Austin has not gotten his hands dirty. But I still think, you know, Bear will carry a little bit more goodwill into the jury. I have only slightly gotten... I mean, I don't really want to do that, is the thing. I've only slightly gotten my hands dirty. I yeeted Robert, but I didn't have a choice. Well, I could have yeeted Bear, which probably would have been better for my long-term game in hindsight. But in the short term, I was like, I don't want to make enemies with this, you know... with a jury member this early on. It makes me, well, maybe... Anyway, we don't need to talk that level of strategy. Is what I'm trying to get at. But either way. So I think Bear probably wins. So if Bear wins the Head of Household game this week, and this is going to be a prophetic episode, depending on, you know, when it comes out. I think if he wins Head of Household game this week, he wins the game. Unless something unbelievable happens. I think me and Austin are like 50-50 against each other in the jury. So really, I am hoping either me or Austin wins the Head of Household game. And then if I win, 100% I'm taking Austin with me. If Austin wins, I don't know if he'll take me. To be honest, I think he might instead go like, you know what, Bear saved me last week, let's leave it up to the jury. We'll see. I don't know what his cutthroat instincts are. Either way, let me just say, I think I'm very happy to be in the final 3. However, I feel like our odds of, you know, my odds, I should say, of actually coming out on top are pretty low. And I don't know how else I could have played it, to be honest. Well, actually, there's one very obvious way. I could have yeeted Bear to keep Robert in week 2. However, given that the rest of the, like, even week 3 was team-based, seems like kind of a foolish move, right? To be like, we're gonna deliberately make our team worse. Because then next week, you know, on the week that followed, I should say, is possible that because they had Robert, they would have won the head of household game. All of a sudden, it's, you know, me and Austin on the block, and I could be going home anyway. So it's always easy to say the decision that is not the decision you made would be a better decision, because in hindsight, it wouldn't have put you into this position. But I know you're like, I don't even care. I just watch for fun. I just watch the game for fun, and you're being all weird about it. When you're this close to the sauce, it's different, okay? It's different. That's all I can say about that. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for the support on the series so far. You know, it's a brand new thing for us, so you know there have been hiccups, but appreciate the, you know, the understanding. And when there hasn't been understanding, you know, deuces up, champagne for my real friends, real pain for my sham friends. You know what I mean? Can you stop moving around here? This is like the antithesis of our previous run. It's so unbelievably good. And we're also only one guppy item away. Anyway, that's what I'm excited about this week. Plus, like, you know, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Monday, which is tomorrow, is December 16th. Not quite at the part of the year where nobody does any real work, but kind of close. You know, and again, I know you're like, well, at my job, I work retail, so I work all the... Yes, okay, I understand. But I mean, like, here's the thing. Don't take this the wrong way, because it's going to sound bad. But if you work retail, I like that you work during the holidays, because that's when I go to the store. So there's somebody there to process my order and greet me and say happy holidays. It is, I mean, it's not selfish necessarily. I mean, I'm not the one who says, you gotta have somebody on. I'm just saying. Don't hurt me. But I mean, like, you know, throughout the rest of the year, we get important emails and letters and stuff like that from time to time. No important work in my life is done between, like, December 15th and January 3rd, you know? So we're entering a pretty dormant time of the year for that, where we can just relax. Hopefully. You might say NL. Nobody does any work December 15th to the, you know, start of January. You talk about how in an office, a lot of the time is... Really? This is what you're going to give me here? In the summertime, there's not as much work being done because people are on vacation all the time. And, you know, when somebody goes on vacation, like one person comes back, two more people go out, those two people come back, another two people go out, etc., etc. I'm starting to think that not a whole lot of work gets done. When do adults do work? Well... feel like a lot of... I mean, you feel free to disagree with me. I'm not saying this is definitive. I'm just spitballing here. I bet if you looked at the average office, let's say it doesn't sell a seasonal product, okay? Let's say it has a product that has, you know, inelastic demand year-round. Like, I know this is going to sound weird. Let's say you work for a toilet paper sales office. You might say, oh, around, you know, Cinco de Mayo, sales spiked by 15%. But for the most part, people probably buy a fairly steady amount of toilet paper throughout the year. You know, your toilet paper demand doesn't change too much due to the seasons, probably, on an average citizen level. I bet most of the work in that office is done between February and May. Okay, maybe that's a little... Maybe February to May, and September to November. But then that's not as radical, so it doesn't sound like as funny of an expression. I don't know, but I do sort of feel that. I think that the 3 months between February and May, for most offices, are at least those are the most productive times in general. That's my 2 cents in the subject. Then again, I'm a little out of touch. I have not worked in the normal world for like a decade, which is super weird to think about it. Because, you know, my last quote-unquote real job was teaching ESL in South Korea, which is not really like a normal job. That's an abnormal job. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the very short episode, but still good today. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya!